You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for Mob Wives. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Mob Wives news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AFTERBUZZ TV for Mob Wives.
Hello, fans of Mob Wives. We are here, Season 2, Episode 2, episode title, Hell on Heels, a much-anticipated episode from last week, just reported in last week. 2.4 million viewers tuned in for Mob Wives, 56% increase from the season premiere last year. I feel like the numbers are only going to go up.
I think they even had something like 1.8 million viewers in the rerun of that same night.
You're right. Yes. Yeah.
Like,
it's
insane.
When they reran it at 9 o'clock. Crazy. Cray, as the kids like to say here at AFTERBUZZ.
Love some violence.
So, like, wow. The battle goes down. So much to go over.
This was definitely an anticipated week for me. I've been waiting for it. Karen and Drita ending the season last season with the big fight that they had to come right back into it, like episode 2, like insane. And I like that they brought in Ramona as a new character this year. I think she brings a lot to it.
She's mixing it up.
She's mixing it up. She's stirring the paint. That's what I like.
I'm so looking forward to more Big Ange. I am, but not to get off the subject,
Yeah.
but I agree. I like seeing Ramona. I like seeing more Junior, and from a producer's perspective, it's only good for them because it kind of keeps everybody in check. There's I need a million an episode out of any of these girls.
Yeah, and with the four of them,
you can go on.
Yeah, with the 4 of them, I almost feel like how much drama a lot apparently, but really you got to have some outside characters to kind of keep it interesting.
At some point, you do.
You don't want to just see the 4 of them fighting back and forth all the time.
This show, it reminds me of vintage Jersey Shore, where they're just on a scale of 1 to 10, they're like a 10, full tilt.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, right out of the gate, pow. We had the first episode, setting everything up, and then we're right into it. Blood immediately. Drita's eye. I couldn't even look at her. I felt so bad.
This is interesting.
By the way, Keven Undergaro here with...
Oh, yeah. Cameron.
And Cameron.
Yeah.
Wait. What are our last names?
Safford. Cameron
right.
Safford.
Cameron Safford.
Cameron Marston.
Hey, Cameron Marston. I've got double cam action going, which I love. Twin cams, baby. But... anyway, just getting back into the insanity of this episode, we see we pick up where we left off. Cam, take it from original. Well, how do I differentiate Cam Safford from Cam the man? Cam the man. Okay, Cam the man.
It's a little sexist.
Come on, it is a little sexist. It's a little sexist.
Well, I honestly believe that they intended to talk things out. I'm a fan of...
What do you mean they? Now, remember, it was Renee who said, all right, I want all my girls together.
Right.
And then Big Ange was like, you think she was the one orchestrating the piece?
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. I think Big Ange wanted them to squash it. She's been around. She's had enough life experience to know that you can get past this and you can look back and kind of laugh at it later. I think she thought that they had more in common. Being mothers, she wanted the best resolve for everybody. Unfortunately, I think that there's way too many topics that they...
A lot of water under the bridge.
Well, Lee is a big issue. I honestly believe that it's not Karen's sole issue. I think there is a woman-to-woman respect that, just let me know. I think that basic respect. And I don't believe that just because you move away, you're not friends any longer. Again, I don't know all the dynamics of it, but that's
what you said, let me know. What do you mean by that?
Let me know that you're dating my ex-boyfriend of 8 years, whether I cheated on him or not.
And
that's-
Drita didn't let Karen know that.
Drita said, well, we weren't friends any longer because she moved away. That's the story that we're getting. And even through some of the tweets. And when I watched that 7-minute clip that we were talking about earlier, Karen went right back into it. That's what I didn't. Karen has too much animosity behind it. I believe Drita actually wants to move past it.
I agree. I think Drita's like, what, really? Like, come on.
But there are some scenes where Drita's kind of backpedaling about what she said. I don't think she articulated herself the way she wanted to. Some of what she said, she backtracked about saying she said that she felt that they still were friends. But in the reunion that we saw last season, she made the comment, when you left, we weren't friends. So I don't think she meant it that way. She didn't. I just think she didn't construe what she meant to construe, and Karen held on to it. She's still holding on to it. And then it comes back to what we talked about last week, is you revert to what you know. She's back in gangster mode.
She is so in gangster mode. That was, to me, it was such a genius point you made.
She's not going to let it go.
This is in her blood. And I was saying it's not in the blood of Carla and Drita. They married into it, but it's in their DNA. And like you were saying, with Karen, she's really focused. She's just back in the neighborhood. She's back in the scene, and I can see it in her eyes, the conviction.
It's like blood in the water.
Yeah. She's got the most fight in this battle for sure.
Right.
For sure.
And also the most, even if she didn't have the most fight, which she does, she's the most upset out of the two of them. I feel like Drita's a hothead in the moment, and then she just kind of moves on. But I think there's that gangster blood in her, which is vengeful,
when
respect,
she keeps saying,
loyalty.
I'll keep coming for you,
yeah,
coming for you.
Yeah, and you see her eyes, like they get just
very calculated.
Right,
you can see she's already planning ahead for me. And like I was telling her, I'm a big fan of Karen and Drita equally. But we were talking about, I'm also a Twitter fan of both of theirs, and I watch. These fans are getting crazy. They are talking about like they know them personally. They're attacking the other camp. It's crazy.
I need more. This is great. I didn't know this.
Get a life. I feel bad enough that we're talking about it as it is. But
what's AfterBuzz?
Twitter, there's like Twitter people just talking shit to, cross camp. It's just, like, oh, you're a fucking scoundrel. You're a dog. You're a bitch. Just like they know them personally because of the show.
But maybe they do though.
No, people from all over the country. I mean, admittedly, they don't know that. Like, but I'm a Drita fan till I die. Drita for life. Or, Karen, she's totally gangster. And we're glad Ramona was there to get her back.
Is it even the amount 50 fans of each 50-50 or
I don't know. I didn't check the following numbers. They're both they're all trying to get over 100,000. Oh
my goodness.
I have to say that Drita's fans seem a little bit more level-headed
than Karen's. That's interesting.
I would have thought the opposite if I were to have to guess. But I think in this fight, though, the one thing I do want to say in Karen's defense is when somebody you feel wrongs you, I think she's just never really gotten the validation from Drita.
Exactly.
She doesn't want
we all
Drita
want
to say,
that. No, in life, we all want that. It's just like, you know what? I shouldn't have done that to you. I was a dick, or I was a jerk, or I was a bitch, and I'm sorry.
And
the more you don't get that, the more angry you get.
Yeah, and the more she's gonna keep.
And by the way, even a lot of people who are victimized by criminals, if you notice, a lot of the victims, that's all they want. They want to confront. I want to confront the person who raped me or killed my father or whatever. And if you notice, most of the criminals, because they are criminals and bent on evil, they never give you that because they know it bothers you.
Yeah.
So that's a great point.
And it's like when someone cheats on you or something, all you want from them is to validate their wrong to you. Like, I
just
did you wrong.
Admit it. Right. You're always like, you just admit it, please.
Yeah. And I think, so I get why Karen's not going to let it go and why every fight that they get in, she's going to go right back to the Lee thing. And she's right. It might not be. She didn't want Lee. It's not about Lee. It's about principle. And the fact that Karen will not give her that one thing.
And by the way, and because her DNA is so so vengeful, but it could keep accelerating where it no longer will be about Lee or the fact that she's not admitting now, it's just on.
And I think that's where it's going. I think that's where it's at. I mean, at this point, I don't think having Ramona in her corner is really fair. I don't think it really helps it. Matter of fact, I think Drita should have never probably even gone to that party.
She shouldn't have gone. Oh, absolutely.
But once she went, she admits she shouldn't have gone. And once she saw the two of them together, I mean, she was outnumbered, and I think she should have walked away. She should never have agreed to talk to Karen, especially when Ramona is going to stand 5 feet away and Drita and Ramona have beef. Like they don't get along. She set herself up for that, unfortunately, and I like her. Big Ange had good intentions, but should have known that was gonna pop off.
Should have known what was gonna go down.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think Cam Min, I think she thought it could be controlled. Like, okay, I'll be the hero. I'll bring them together. Let's just talk.
Well, what we were talking about is, I mean, they're both mothers, and so I was telling my boyfriend that thinking of them as mothers, and I'm watching these tweets go back and forth. I mean, this is what you want your child to remember about your career.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, Karen is gangster, and Karen's like, fuck that all day, every day. I'm coming for you, and I'll keep coming for you.
It's
and
like you said,
like, I'm so tired of it. This hurts my feelings, you know, because people are coming after her. Like, they're sending her all kinds of
And again,
tweets.
because it's not in her DNA. We talked about this. Drita had a normal dad and a normal mom who wasn't in this lifestyle. So first 20 years, you know, it's different. They say your formative years, so even your first 6 years of life. Well, the first 6 years, Renee and Karen, it was mob life.
And there's some like even guys ripping, like there was a young kid, I think he was 19 or something, ripping on Karen, talking about, you think you're all gangster, and she's like, I'll show you gangster, right? And I'm like,
I mean, her father.
Why would you pick on
Sammy
somebody?
the Bull is a serial killer.
Yeah. He's a psychopath.
I mean, many deaths. You know, I don't know if I can say alleged or not. I think it was proven, but okay, let's just say alleged. But really, I mean, this is not like, that's so legit.
Yeah.
So when she says like, yeah, you want to go there, she'll go there.
I think she will. And I think I was shocked to learn Ramona. I was wondering how Ramona was going to tie into this whole thing, childhood friends. And when she started talking about her granddad being
left two guns.
Like Donnie Brasco was made after him. Now it all makes sense too. Why I would stay away from those.
Yeah.
two.
Well, you know, the other thing, I'm, you know, from the Boston area, and I worked around this with the business that I was in, and I was always just frightened. Like, it's just best to not. Would either of you guys want to be friends with these people?
No.
They're scary.
They're scary.
Very scary.
I would be friends with Carla and maybe Drita. Because
Carla and Drita, yes.
Because then again, it's like.
Not in the DNA.
Yeah.
That too.
Matter of fact, I feel like Drita would be a good friend to have around if someone ever popped off the bar.
Well, by the way, I bet you have friends, right, from the Saddle Ranch, the bar scene, who are like
Rachel.
that. They're fun, and Rachel, and totally will have your back, and like she's not afraid to clench her fists and throw down when she has to. But then it ends there.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay,
I'm gonna keep coming for you.
Yeah, you know, and people getting called and whatnot. And so Port, was it Darren or Derek?
Derek Tobacco.
Poor Derek Tobacco. No, okay, always the great name. My God, like fantastic. So, seeing the replay over and over, was he trying to break it up, or was that a punch?
I think he was trying to break it up. I don't think that he intentionally tried to get in there to punch Ramona.
Ramona said that she didn't feel that he actually tried to attack her or hit her.
I think in the heat of the moment, when everybody, you know, she heard that he punched her, she didn't know what was going on. Junior said the next day that he saw him do it. Yeah.
He said he saw him do it, and then did Renee kind of?
Well, there was somebody that told him directly that no, I saw him do it, and then eventually, when you look back on the tape, because Junior said somebody told him, that's why he got all heated. That's why he got upset. Sure, he trusted this guy's opinion, and that's why he went to go punch the window of the car.
You know what I love? Like, no remorse, no apology, no like, oh my God, he was just a normal. You know, they said as she said, he's not even the type of guy to
hit a guy.
You know, which is funny. But he's obviously not a violent person. But if that was you, wouldn't you be apologetic and say, "Oh my God, I terrorized this poor guy. I punched his window.
I almost dragged him out of the van. And
I almost killed him. My God, I'm so sorry." You know, like, but
what if Junior would have gotten him before the van took off, dragged him out right before his court case, beat him to a pulp, and all for what? He didn't really even do it.
Well, you know, it's in our special segment, which I should tease. I want to really ask you guys how, with the fact that Renee's sister Jen is the one that's producing this, and I think my prediction is the next few seasons, it's really going to become Renee centric because she's the star and that's her sister, and she's great. She's great television. But let's talk in the special segment, not now, but how aware is Renee about what good television is and what isn't, and how much of this is genuine. The reason it right now feels genuine is because of that. Like if Junior did go any further, that he would be, you know,
And it's on tape.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, even some of the threats or whatever, all that could be used against him. You know, just the verbal threats. So anyway,
that whole footage could have been used against him.
100%.
And I think maybe
100%.
I guess if you want to go back to this, we can. But I was thinking, I think maybe as these seasons progress, they're going to get less and less interesting because of that fact. I think right now they're kind of going with the ratings and doing it. But once they start to realize this is going to have long-term
maybe they will. You know, it's like, well, we're seeing that a little bit in Jersey Shore. And plus they get famous. And then it's like, you know what? We can make money in doing cookbooks and other stuff. And it's maybe they start overthinking it. It's not about throwing the punch anymore. Or now we're kind of too famous to behave this way. I mean, you know, again, that's down the road. Well, let's talk about in our special segment. You guys want to move on to Drita and Carla in discussion, or you want to keep talking fight?
No, let's go Drita and Carla.
So Drita and Carla sit down, and poor Drita. I mean, the eye. I mean, it was frightening to look at her. I think she's such a beautiful kid, and like seeing the eye like all red like that was scary.
It was creepy. It was
like a
creepy.
ruptured vessel or something.
And I liked how Carla said, "Now I wish I was there because you got beat up," and because I don't see Carla as a fighter at all.
Even though Carla did get in a fight with Renee in season 1.
She did, kind of.
I mean, wasn't much of a fight.
But they all admitted, and self-admittedly, Renee said, "I'm not really a fighter." So I don't think Carla was ever really scared of her throwing a punch, but they pulled hair, right? They were
Yeah,
Right,
it was
right.
slick. It was.
Renee admitted at the reunion, she's like, "I'm not really a fighter. I just want to be in the middle."
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I love her.
Yeah, she's
had men to take care of her all of her life. She's never had to fight.
No, never.
Yeah.
Never. Whereas Drita's the real like fighter, but Karen, again, if she's not, she's just gonna get you. However, she's gonna get you.
Well, Karen, I mean, Karen and Drita both admitted that when they used to run the streets, they fought all the time. It was just natural. They're just in it. They're in it.
So we see. I know you guys are a little down on Carla. I actually think she's.
I don't hate her. I just think
she's nice relief for the show because I just like the idea that there's somebody is like I could not be afraid of and talk to.
You know, it's hard. It's like, it's hard to answer this because in real life, I think Carla would probably be someone I would most be friends with.
Right.
But as far as for entertainment purposes, she's kind of a snooze. I mean, she's just there to talk about what happened to everybody else. And I mean, I'd like to see more if they are going to do more with Carla. I'd like to see more about what's going to happen with her husband that just got out.
They're going to relate to her.
We're going to see more
of
of
that.
that.
Have that backtracking where they fall back into some kind of relationship.
She's hinting at it last week.
And women are going to relate to that.
Yeah, well, I'm
and you're gonna get
dying.
more
I'm
viewers.
just dying.
She needs a storyline.
Here, by the way, this is the future of this show to me is if it starts to wind down, let's say by season 3 or 4, is seeing these women date. Like, who would date them and not be terrified? You know, what kind of men would date them? And as they get famous, it's going to open more opportunities for them to date outside of the neighborhood. So it's going to be interesting. I'd love to see who Carla's going to date, but I guess for now, it'll be the old hubby.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, well, you know, before we get into Karen Ramona, what about just briefly the Big Ange?
Big Ange.
Because what was the great quote?
She's great. She said,
Cam, the girl.
"We never got to sing happy birthday or have a piece of cake."
Yeah,
and then the party's over.
Yeah.
The lady, who was the blonde?
I don't know.
They didn't really
It
go
was the
in.
same friend. I saw the video trailer from VH1 for Big Ange cooking, and it's her, I guess, her real close friend, and she shops and hangs out. She's one of her girls.
Big Ange is a
Oh
great
my God,
new addition.
Big Ange is awesome.
Awesome.
Please promise me, are we gonna? Have you heard Cam the Man? Are we gonna see more Big Ange this season?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Because she's fantastic, and which we said about her is not only are her roots in the mob, but she's an actual mobster herself. She's done her own business, like we said about, I guess, with Karen too. Karen did stuff later when the dad was kind of past his prime, but Big Ange in the thick of it in Staten Island doing business. You know,
I love that.
I love that.
I know.
She's got old school. She's old school information, old school experience.
I'm really looking forward to more.
She's like
more.
she's like the Staten Island Oracle.
Yeah, we need to figure out for next week. I'm going to find
The
out
Staten Island Oracle.
who Big Ange where she came from.
Well, we last week we went over it.
She's part of the she's related to somebody in the Genovese family.
Yeah, no, like real hardcore roots, and then she owned and operated several businesses.
She's the niece of, I think I forget the name.
So it wasn't like she was like the Italian princess who daddy just bought the cars for. Which
She's not Renee.
She's not Renee. No, she was in the thick of it.
Oh, good for her.
And that's why we were saying last week that even Drita, all of them were very quiet and respectful. They weren't like their usual.
Yeah, I guess if Big Ann says something
Yeah,
weird.
they all were like, okay, whatever she says. Let's get to Renee and Junior and this love story.
Are we gonna go back to Karen and Ramona?
Sure, if you want. Yeah, you want to talk? Yeah, go ahead.
Because you were in here and I talked about the relationship, her grandfather, Ramona's grandfather, right?
Yeah.
So Lefty Guns, and it was interesting how she was talking about how she actually went up to Al Pacino during the filming, and
Oh my
you know
God,
how
right?
she wanted to give an idea of how he should be represented, and when she talked about I guess misrepresentation and how he was a loving man and took care of his family and that was his first and foremost concern. I believe that it doesn't make him any less of a thug, right? I mean, and it made me think of the movie Mystic River and how we do what we have to do and we take care of business.
Just that last shot of Sean Penn where he knew he killed the Tim Robbins character, although he knew Tim Robbins at that point was innocent.
Right.
And he just shrugged his shoulders. He just shrugged his shoulders to the cop, I forget who played the policeman, Footloose.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon. He just shrugged his shoulders.
It always
Like, in
makes
other
me-
words,
it
like,
always
this
makes
is
me
just
do
who I am. That's
As much as it
who
makes
we
my
are.
stomach turn, there is a respect that I have for even mothers and fathers. They do what they have to do to protect their families. And I know somebody else suffers for it. There's maybe some kind of balance. I don't know, but when she was saying that, I was thinking, girl, but he's still a thug.
Yep.
Well, he is, but there's two sides of the coin. There's how everybody else looks at him, but for her,
She loves him, and I
she
get
loves
that.
him.
And
He
she
was
said-
probably a great granddad.
Well, she said, but that was interesting that she said some people think he's good, some people think he's bad. I just know him as my grandfather. It's kind of interesting.
And she did admit that she was kept in the shadows for a
decent
long
take
time
on
through
it.
her growing up until she heard whispers and things later until he was arrested.
Well, there's a great line in The Sopranos. Tony Soprano says, "Hey, this is the life we chose," and I always go back to that with these people. Like that's the life, and you have to know what you're getting into.
Well, that's not necessarily the life the kids choose, though. Poor AJ was running around while his dad's about to punch a van in.
Yeah, no.
And his
poor
mom signed up for
AJ.
Mob Wives. AJ is a little kid in high school.
No, and by the way, you could see during the fight he was one rational. He was trying to break things up.
I'm probably trying to keep his dad.
When
out
you
of
look
jail.
at your mom's Renee and your dad's Junior, and they're running around in a parking lot, that poor kid, that can't be
But
the
you know
life
what?
she
But
chose.
let me tell you something. This is why I respect him because a lot of the kids that I see from that world are more violent. Dad, let's go. Let's get him, Dad. That's usually what I see. It's rare that I see someone like that who was keeping the father out of jail, keeping the mother calm. He
seems like a good kid.
Decent kid.
Yeah.
Decent kid. Yeah, and you're right. Like, what did he didn't sign up for this.
He didn't sign up for
He
this.
really didn't have a choice.
No.
He didn't have a choice. And by the way, thank God for Aunt Jen in this series because I do believe it's going to pull him away from this.
Yeah.
I think ultimately, yes, I
Yeah.
do.
It'll give him options to leave.
Well, the fact that Aunt Jen's producing means that she's smart enough to create this show, create other shows, create other streams of income, create other platforms. And I feel like they'll be able to all evolve beyond this. Now, what they do with the fame, if they're going to be like, unfortunately, what happened to the Hogan family with the fame, there's no control after that. But I think at least is the best shot to pull away from this to get away from the name.
It will be interesting to see, too, with Junior being so involved.
Oh, can we talk about Junior now?
Yeah.
So Junior, I mean, as he's saying to her, I want to make a shot at this. We know that through the news, or at least we're led to believe that he's doing this because he wants to get closer to her to get more information on the father because he's working with the feds. Either way, it's very typical of these guys before they get busted to warm up to the old wife because this is someone who will bring them food and do, take care of them and bring them food in prison, put money in their canteen.
Simple comforts.
Also run errands or whatever else they need, talk to their lawyers. And you still have you have someone on the outside. Then when you get out, it's good for a few months and then you start messing around again.
Girl.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's going to be in it a lot, it seems like this season. I mean, last season you saw him rarely. Maybe a few episodes he was in. And he was in it a lot this season. He was, in it last week. This is going to sound weird. I thought Junior was kind of handsome this week. And I don't know what it really was about
There's
him.
something,
He's a little sexy.
There's something about him that's charming. And by the way, like most of those guys have this charm to them, which is why they get away with the shit they do and get the girls they do. For me, what really I see that scar, the scars on his face. I'm like, again, this guy's legit.
That makes him sexier.
Well, right.
I like it.
I know you and probably a lot of other girls. I mean,
and some guys too.
He clearly again. I totally believe he's got tons of ass, and she said it. She's like, you sleep with all these other girls or whatever. I totally believe it. Again, growing up in my neighborhood. The girls love them.
Yeah.
Love those guys.
I've always had a thing for gangsters.
Yeah, and there you go. They love it, know. And so I see that. But we know where this is headed. So it's going to be interesting to see as this unfolds. But poor Renee's getting just sucked in again.
Well, interesting. I think from the Fed's perspective, like, well, let's use this as an opportunity.
It really is cray how we're blurring all the lines. And
the thing too that really hurts me for Renee in advance is that her biggest thing is loyalty. She can't say it enough. No. And I have a feeling
her self-esteem, which poor AJ is going to suffer from now because who replaces Daddy when he's not there? Poor AJ.
How many counseling sessions have we seen Renee in talking about Junior and how he's not good or he's good and she can't let go of it and he's about to run her through the gauntlet.
Yeah.
So
it's nuts. And again, like we'll go over it more in the special segment because there's a lot. It's just interesting how legit this all is and how authentic it is and how much it is good TV. And I want to get you guys' thoughts on it. Let's go to commercial. We'll come back. We'll talk about that. We'll do predictions for next week, and then we'll take you out of here.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after-shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV. AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
I have no mic. Thank you, Phil. Okay. As I'm just watching this again. Renee's the star of this show. Her sister produces it. You guys think in the back of her head, and even in the back of Karen's head, that they've got to know this is great television and is only going to make the series better, increase ratings, open up all the other avenues that 99.9% of these reality stars know are available to them if the show is successful. Do you think they're aware of this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Without
again, Cam, because you're the best, Cam the girl, because you were started on Saddle Ranch. You were aware, weren't you, of the opportunities?
No,
not at all.
Not then.
To the extent.
Not then, right? Okay.
In hindsight, if I would have had it all to do over again, I would have done everything different.
Right.
Everything different for that reason. And now that here's the thing with season 1 of shows, you never really know what they know and what they don't know. Now, seeing their shows air and going into a season 2, they know exactly what's good.
And remember, imagine if your sister were producing Saddle Ranch, she'd be telling you, like this is what's going on.
It's going to go down.
So okay, so we agree that they're aware.
Yeah.
What what good television will do for their careers. So that being said, is Renee acting at with, for instance, with this party?
I don't get that with her. I don't think so. I don't, because when things happen like fights or things like that, when you're filming, you totally lose sight of. It's more in the interviews and it's more in the sit down, like Carla and Drita at Drita's house. Those more staged interactions are more when you're aware of what's going on. But when all hell's broken loose, like at a party, you forget the cameras are there and you're just going nuts.
The adrenaline's going.
Yeah, that to me is the most real moments.
But when she has the celebration of life party,
that was orchestrated.
Okay, so that was orchestrated. And when you say orchestrated, were they aware that it was going to be great television? That it was all going to blow. There was going to be a blowout.
I think by inviting, the people that they invited, they knew something. The producers probably knew at some point they were going to talk.
But in the back of Renee's head, did she know?
I think she did. That's why she stressed so many times for them not to talk about it. Kind of like, don't talk about it, because I think she knew if they talked about it, something was going to go down.
And did she know? Another question: did she know they were going to talk about it? Did she know there was going to be a blowout or drama?
I could have told you they were going to talk about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So she knew there was drama.
I'm sure she knew there was drama, because if she didn't invite Carla because she just didn't want Carla to be there, she did invite the two people who are at each other's throats to her birthday. So.
On top of that, she knows Big Ange just as close as they all do. So, I mean, seeing Big Ange talking to them at all and knowing Big Ange for as many years as they all confess that they do, I think Renee had the opportunity to say, look, I don't want them to confront each other tonight. If she was really genuine about that, I think that Renee was okay with them pulling this off, because her and her sister probably had already kind of had in the works that it may happen. So, because she could have told, I honestly believe that she could have told Big Ange, look, don't let it happen.
So, okay.
Because who has the most pull? We all agree Big Ange has some kind of pull in this little community. So Renee's like, look, don't let it happen, if she really didn't want it to happen. But I don't think that's what went down.
Okay, so
Big Ange's like, come on, girl.
So the blowout happens, and when by the time Renee's barefooted, is she being genuine at this point?
Yes.
And
because Junior's involved now. Yeah, and Junior still has his trial.
True. And I also think whether it escalated to the fight that it escalated to, I think even would have been good for TV, even them working it out.
Yeah.
So I think, did they know that plates were going to fly and Junior was going to get, and all that was going to happen? Probably not. But I think that they were prepared for there to be some sort of confrontation or them working it out, whether they fight or don't fight.
Okay, is Karen aware?
Yes.
That this is good television?
That's why she brought Ramona.
Right, okay. Okay, we can hear you, Phil. Really? Phil, we can hear you. I like his new thing. He's with Dr. Phil on the street.
I can't hear
Street Dr. Phil. Anyway, so I guess then we're gonna be okay. If this is how it's gonna go, if we know Jen is producing, we know Renee is the star, her sister, then I guess we're still on to have a good series.
I think so.
So it's.
And I'm following them now. And Karen, Renee.
Can you hear him or not?
I
can't hear him.
Oh, wow. I wonder why I can.
Oh, sorry. It's the voice of God. Well, Karen, Renee, Sister Jen, and Ramona, they all go to functions together. Renee has done some functions with Drita separately. Not much with Carla, but Renee is pretty tight with Karen and... So I mean, she's friends. I think she's friends with both camps, but Karen and her seem to get along.
They're very tight. Yeah. I mean, I think because
they relate to how they're growing up.
It's in the DNA. Yeah. It's in the DNA. All right, let's go to predictions for next week.
My predictions for next week is not so much predictions, more of just what I can't wait to see. As in the previews, you see Ramona's been in jail. I'm interested to see for what Ramona went to jail for, because they didn't show any reason. She just... I think
Drita pressed charges.
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
Really?
Look at Drita's eye,
Karen said that she landed the punch, not Drita. Karen said she hit her.
Yeah.
Karen said she blacked her eye out.
Hit Drita.
Yeah. Oh. I think there might be something involving, because I told you, remember, she's on the run. Well, not on the run, but she's separated from her husband. Right. So I don't know, maybe there's something involved with the children and custody.
Abduction or whatever.
Because I think with their code, I don't think they would press charges on each other. I think they'll handle it on the street.
You're right.
I don't think they would call the cops.
Smart girl.
Yeah.
Smart girl.
So I'm
Cam.
interested to see with Ramona why she was in jail, and I'm also interested to see what's going to happen with Junior's trial next week.
Is the trial next week?
Well, I don't know if they show it next week, but they, kind of are leading up to it now.
I feel like next week we're gonna have a little bit of a honeymoon phase with her and Junior. It's gonna be
painful.
dinner. It's gonna be like, because you see them out to dinner, and she says you had sex with other girls or whatever. But I think there'll be a little romancing, a little honeymoon, and I think it'll be the following episode where
probably
it'll blow. I don't think it's gonna blow next week.
I'm waiting for the confrontation between Karen and Carla.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's right. That's next week too.
I hope so.
Yeah, no, they showed it in the preview. You're right. We're gonna see
Carla and Renee.
Carla and Renee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for Karen and Carla when they go to dinner, and Karen stands up. She's like, "Well, stand up, bitch."
Yeah.
Oh, is that next week?
No, I don't know when. I don't know when.
Yeah, I
they're
don't
gonna
know if
slot this
that's
in.
next week.
I think they would have teased it. I think next week is. I'm sorry. Next week's Carla and Renee.
Yeah.
They're gonna finally why she didn't get in touch with her over her surgery.
I'm looking forward to this season. I think we've got a lot.
We're heading in the right direction, for sure.
This is my New Jersey Shore.
Yeah, it really. Yeah, they're fresh. They're ready to go. I feel. Are you waking up in the booth? All right.
Hey.
Well, anyway, where can we find you guys?
You can follow me at Kameron Safford on Twitter.
And
is that with a K?
That's with a K.
And mine is Tamakava 777. Sorry, it's phonetic.
Really?
TAMAKAVA 777.
Like that. At Undergaro. Okay, Mob Wife fans, we'll be back next week.
From producers Keven Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later, gangsters.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.